Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening and good night. Welcome back to Abstract Medicine. I hope you are all doing well. So today we're going to be doing a reading, and it's going to be a channeled video, a channeled reading from Commander Ashtar. So it's been a while since I've actually channeled Commander Ashtar. And yeah, before I begin, I'm just going to go and get my cup of tea. And now I have my cup of tea. So I've been quite resistant, to be honest with you, with reading Commander Ashtar's energies. But since coming here to Los Angeles and since communing with my other spirit sisters, they have also recognized that I need to be channeling him more, as he has some important things to say. Now, I've been resisting channeling Commander Ashtar for a few months since the last time, I think maybe about a year, since the last time I actually connected with him the first time. Now, one individual who I will not name names actually said or asked me, have you ever considered the fact that you may actually be him as a higher self, me being Commander Ashtar? So again, I was also quite, he is a commander, and he's the commander of the Galactic Federation. He is a non-human sentient being, and he essentially lives on a humongous spaceship that is pretty much like a country where other people are living on, and they come to council a bit like this. I realise now why he's asked me to bring this to you all to show you, because they come together as a council to sit amongst each other in order to speak about not only our planet Earth's state, and I just heard state of mind, so the channeling is already starting to begin, but also to see how they can find ways to slip in some ideas about unity consciousness and non-division consciousness. Now, the few times I have channeled Commander Ashtar, he has spoken about our, I guess in a way, ignorance of us continuing to believe in a division of opposites, where there is this or that, where there is I, there is you. We are needing to focus more on unity. Now, the timing of this channeling is very interesting and also important, because as you know, what's going on in the world right now is highly symbolic, highly prophetic, and is very, very concerning. We are essentially on the brink of an all-out war globally. And I have been subtly mentioning it to you in the collective. I'm not here to scare you, but I am a channel, I am a psychic, and I'm a shamana, and I have to deliver the words of truth from the universe and the multiverses that need to come through. Particularly as I work as a light worker, I am here to bring light, truth, knowledge, and love, essentially, to this whole situation with what I do, not only as an artist, bringing in high vibrational energies, but also as a tarot reader and as a spiritual shamanic healer with my clients. There is also an element of that on the podcast Hype A, which is also about knowledge and inspiration, okay? So, I've just had a snack, and it's now, I think, about 4:45 in the afternoon here in LA. For those of you who are in Europe, I am 8 hours ahead of you, but it's totally fine because this is, thankfully, a pre-recorded video. I will not be editing this video. There is one part of the video which is going to be, added on to this main part, but that's because I had to go and grab my cup of tea. So I'm going to call in Commander Ashtar. He's been waiting. He says he's been waiting. And I'm just blown away, to be honest with you, Collective, Abstract Medicine Collective. I'm absolutely blown away by the fact that this mat is so symbolic. I've never used it before. I bought it along for tarot readings, to use a pendulum, and of course I've forgotten my pendulum back at home in England. But he's going to be showing me how to use it in a different way. So basically this mat has all of the major arcanas around the main outer circumference. On the inner circumference are the minor arcana as letters, and there's also some words here as well, with the page, knight, queen and king for each suit. And then we have the word yes, we have yes here as well. We have no here as well. You may not be able to see it. Maybe you can zoom in, or I can just show you in a minute. And then we also have the I here of protection. We have the word maybe, we have maybe here, we have the word rephrase here and the word rephrase. So let me just show you. So this is what I'm looking at. So the words might be coming back to you, back to front, okay? Which I can actually try and fix, to be honest with you, at the end. But I want to keep this video completely unedited and raw. Commander Ashtar, where do I begin? With this video in particular, you'll be noticing this video and you'll be clicking on this video if you feel called to listen to the words and messages in this video. What I mean is that if this video has landed on you, for those of you who have subscribed to Abstract Medicine already, or for those of you who haven't at all, and you just seem to have come across my video just randomly, then you're meant to be here, okay? I just heard be here now. I will send out a couple of video PRs, let's say marketing on Instagram, Abstract Medicine, abstract_medicine on Instagram, just so that people are notified. But again, if you click on this video and you're here with me, even 7 minutes in, and you're going to continue following along with the messages that I'm going to be channeling, then you're meant to hear these messages, and they're meant to be for you. Okay, because we're here to spread the light, and we're here to be balls of light. Okay, Commander Ashtar wants me to share something with you. This morning, I was really emotional. To be honest with you, I was very emotional and I was very upset. We're coming to the end of the year now. I'm very, very sensitive to what's going on in the world. Hugely sensitive, right? And I was very emotional. I started crying and I was speaking to my mum, and I was also kind of recapping over everything that I've experienced, mainly in terms of closing off of cycles with particular people in my life. And we've just experienced another eclipse recently, as you know, and it was very, very powerful. It was very powerful for me, and there was one particular relationship that was toxic, and this person had really shown their true colors, and I was very, very close with this person. I was, supportive of them through many, many years. But I evolved, let's say, into maturity and out of toxic patterns and out of toxic behaviors. And this person continues to stay in them, if not has gotten worse, has fallen deeper into the abyss of trauma and victimhood mentality and major projection, where I was the, let's say, sounding board and punching bag of this person's slings and arrows. This happened a few days, like last week. Okay, so I was no longer going to continue the pattern of this sort of acceptance and enabling of behavior, so I cut them off. So where in your life has this happened recently? And Why do you think it's happened? There's been so many people that I have closed out cycles with this year. Basically, for them, it may seem very harsh for them, but I have to protect myself, and I have to think of number one, and I have to see things continuously as the glass half full, not as the glass half empty. And to be around people who just pretty much drain my energy and are in the low vibrational energies, who choose to be in that on a consistent basis, I just don't have time for. I just don't. I really don't. So these people can say whatever they want about me. They can say that I'm a bitch, that they can say all the horrible things about me which aren't true. But I know who I am, and I'm a gentle soul, and I'm a very assertive individual. But I also have, as Commander Ashtar is sharing with me, a commanding presence that many people will not be able to accept. And a lot of people in my life have been projecting jealousy programming onto me. They've been projecting hate programming onto me. They have been projecting fear onto me. They've been projecting all of the low vibrational energies on my way. And again, in order to come out of those infinite cycles and loops, one must learn the lesson and come out of that karma into wisdom, essentially. So where in your life has that happened? Okay. Where in your life has that happened? I was talking to my friend, my soul sister, the other day, and we were just discussing something else. She also was very emotional today. She was crying over the global situation that we're all experiencing right now. And we were just talking about how interesting it is how people continue to choose to stay in certain patterns of behavior, and just refuse to see the way out. And again, like, if it's years and years and years of continuous patterns, and this person, you're trying to help them, particularly if you are on the abstract medicine collective energy of empathy, compassion, support, you also know that you do attract controlling people, you do attract narcissistic people, narcissistic behaviors from people. You do attract these kind of energies because they need saving and they want to bring you down energetically. Now, you should never feel like you should apologize for asserting your boundaries. You should never feel like you should feel bad about stating what is right for you and your personal truth. You should never feel bad for that, okay? And particularly for those of you who work in the spiritual community that are in the love and light, you're also people who, again, are not doormats to be walked all over. So Commander Ashtar, why are we, because he's saying, I'm asking, why is this important, this teaching? This teaching is important because many of us are already on the fourth dimension. He's saying the fifth dimension. So we are already operating on the fifth dimension, and that's why these energies seems pretty obvious for you listeners right now, okay? But that's why many of these energies are closing out away from us. That's why many of these people are really showing who their true colors are. Now, the time of this reading, it is Scorpio season, and we are in November, eclipse season. There's astrological changes that are happening as well. There's a very interesting astrological event that could be taking place on the 13th of November. I will just mention the dates. The 13th of November is very concerning for many astrologers, okay? It's a new moon in Scorpio, and there is a potential for a global catastrophe. Let me just put it like that. Mars and Uranus are in opposition on that date, okay? What does Mars signify to you, and where is your Mars placement? Which astrological sign is in your Mars placement? Or do you have very strong Mars placements in your astrological natal chart? Mars signifies resilience, in Scorpio in particular. Now I have Mars in my Scorpio. I have Scorpio in my Mars and Scorpio. That's its home. Yeah. So October, November months are always pretty significant for me. Okay. So, but at work, for example, or just in your life, this Mars energy talks about resilience. It talks about being unmovable, unshakable. It talks about determination to succeed. Okay, so at work, this is a great sign to work with if you have strong Mars or Scorpio or both in your natal chart for your career. Okay, Mars and Scorpio Cazimi is essentially what's going to be taking place also on the 18th of November. Okay, there's going to be a Cazimi of Mars and Scorpio on the 18th of November. If you have Scorpio like predominance in your natal chart, or Mars predominance in your natal chart, then November 18th is going to be a significant date for you in your career. It's telling you to keep going with your commitments, your values in your personal life. Okay, now I'm going to just share that on November the 10th, Mercury will enter Sagittarius, which talks about communication. As we know, Mercury is all about communication. For me, Sagittarius involves travel. There is basically a major Sagittarius stellium from the mid to end of November. Okay, which means there's going to be lots and lots of placements of Sagittarius in November. Okay, that's November 10th. Mercury enters Sagittarius. The Sun enters Sagittarius on November 22nd. Mars squares Saturn November 25th. And the full moon is going to be in Gemini in November 27th, which can talk about chaotic times for travel, being in transit or on the road, okay? And there will be some sort of feeling of hope for justice around that time, November 27. Although Gemini, the full moon in Gemini, for me, Gemini does talk about discord, because they're twins. One is black, one is white, one is good, one is bad. Again, it's like, how do we bring in the oneness? And we have the Magician card here, which I'll talk about in a second. So Gemini does talk about loquaciousness, using lots of words, speaking a lot. Sagittarius, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. I'm just channeling here and using astrology intuitively. I'm not an astrologer, but I learn quite quickly. Gemini does talk about the lovers in the tarot, in the major arcana, which we have here. So I do see that there is going to be some sort of good news in terms of love and true love connections around the end of November, from the 27th of November. This can involve travel, or a desire to travel towards your spouse, your loved one, your beloved, or the person that you believe to be your true connection around these times. However, there can be some chaos. Now, it's interesting because Gemini and Sagittarius are opposites in astrology. Again, where is your Gemini, or where is your Mercury? Where is your Jupiter, and where is your Sagittarius? Which signs are in those planets, Jupiter or Mercury? Also, there's an ideal and a hope for justice around these times. According to Dan Waits, who's an astrologer, he says it's hard to keep a good Sagittarius down, however, because Sagittarians see the glass half full rather than glass half empty. Air signs, in particular Geminis, are very intellectual individuals. In their shadow, and very loquacious, but in their shadow, they can either speak too much, they can either speak falsely, as in saying lies, and they can be really in their head in terms of being in paralysis mentally without necessarily needing to do or wanting to take any action, because they're in their head, okay? So think about those. We have we have light and shadow within ourselves, and there is light and shadow within each tarot card. Each card is neutral, and we're here to integrate the shadow and the light within us, okay? The masculine and feminine within us as well. There is globally around that time, the end of November, there will be a square in Saturn between, the full moon in Gemini. There'll be a square. And there's this feeling of itching to break through and break free, which is Sagittarius energy. Again, Jupiterian energy is positive, it's good luck. Sagittarians do not want to be negative, and they don't want to be sad for very long. So let's all hold the faith that the Sagittarius spirit moving into the season of Sagittarius, which is, the end of November, 22nd of November, Sun entering Sagittarius, through to the 22nd of December, will light the way for all humankind. Okay, so I'll say that. Okay. So, I knew that this card was going to come out. I've had this card on my desk since yesterday, and it's been a very powerful card also for the collective. Yeah, so as you can see, we have a magician here, and we have this magician who's conjuring up a lot of ideas. Now, the magician is, as you know, the symbol of the sign for Gemini and planet Mercury. Now, as I'm sat here with a hood on. This is also very indicative. I spoke about releasing cycles of infinite, that have been going on for too long. A lot of you are cleaning the way, and a lot of you are cleaning your energies, particularly around this time. You're letting go of things and people, places, energies that you no longer desire, need, want, that don't serve you anymore. And a lot of you are going within. This card also wants to come through. The Chariot was also on my desk today, this card, okay? So fast movement, we also have the energy of Metatron, which is no surprise to me, because I was speaking to a spiritual individual who I was working with. Three of us were moving energy, all three of us, one particular day recently. And this individual works with Archangel Metatron. Okay, so it's interesting. We also have Cancer energy. So let me just present the cards for you to see in this way so you can see them. We have two major arcanas here. The Chariot, Cancer energy is the moon, it's the home. A lot of you are going to be moving home, but I would like to see what Commander Ashtar, he says welcome. He says welcome everyone. Welcome to my circle. He says, what is it that you want to know? What is it that you need to know? Commander Ashtar, what is it that... You said everything that you needed to know, my dear. You said everything that you needed to know, my dear. And everything that they need to know, my dear. Do not be afraid as we are entering cataclysmic times. There is a shift and a breaking open within your Earth's dimension. Like, he's showing me an apple. Like a knife that is cutting open an apple. There are two halves of your existence. There are two halves of an atom. And there are two halves of this planet Earth. The Lover's energy, the Lover's card that you mentioned, does talk about the splitting of the atom, which for many of you, you speak about the twin flame dynamic or even dogma for many people. It can be a myth if you choose for it to be a myth, and it can be a truth to you if you choose for it to be a truth to you. In either case, there is a union within two people, and there is also a separation within two people, depending on the perspective that you choose to have and take care of. Because your perspective is something that you need to take care of. Perspective is not only in the eyes that you see, but the eyes of the soul. And many of you are understanding and seeing that the eyes of the soul have been bewildered or covered up or hidden. What I mean to say is that over the last 3 or 4 years, since the great change, or for many of you, you call the Great Reset since 2019, 2020, had also begun in 2012 and many years before that, even 2011 for some of you. You have been witnessing many people that have been coming together and falling apart. The world that you live in within your home, the Chariot card, and the world that is out there are both reflections of the same whole. They are two halves of the same apple. Let me just pull out these cards and then I'll continue to channel. Moment. He's saying to place these cards in this way. Where does this one go? Here. Okay, I'm going to move these here, there, so you can see them. He says one more. I've never done this before, so just bear with me, okay? This is a new way of me channeling and reading the tarot. There's someone outside actually who's making a phone call. Even here, as you attempt to channel and to be in quiet and solitude, Magician card. There are distractions, and this is a safe haven for you, no matter where you are in the world, Kristalina. Congratulations on your name change, by the way. Thank you so much. You are the holy mountain. You are embarking on the truth and the connection and the journey towards further enlightenment through the holy mountain, which is God's home and God's place. Thank you. I have the mountain tattooed on my arm, by the way. We are all walking on a very tight rope. Some will fall and some will hold their breath to hold balance on this tight rope. He's not showing me if we will make it to the end of our destination on this tightrope, but he is definitely showing me lots and lots of people that are falling off the tightrope and into the abyss. I'm seeing into a depth of water, and it's mainly on the right side. People are falling off the tightrope on the right side, okay? Now, I just want to say, I'm just going to interrupt, okay, that many sentient beings use very abstract and cryptic symbolism. You can decipher it the way that you feel is necessary for you, that you may understand, and I will also do the same, and I will try to decipher and decode this for you. Sometimes it's just not necessary. Sometimes we just need to hear the imagery and the analogy of what is being presented. Okay, so I'm going to go back in. Yes, he keeps showing me people on this tightrope. That they are falling on the right-hand side. They're falling this way. What does that, he says, you know what that means. The right side of the body is the masculine energy. They are, okay. He's saying that these people, we would we would see them as people who fall into the category of the patriarchy. Of course, they don't use this terminology where they are, okay? But these are people who have chosen not to see. They are wearing blinders. They are choosing not to see the truth. These are people who, for many people, are orchestrating wars in this world. But these are also people that, quote unquote, in your language, are jumping ship. Hence him showing me the tightrope and falling. These people are also choosing to get off the tightrope because they are not wanting to be held accountable. What he's also showing me is there's going to be a trigger warning here, okay? So if you want to click off and come back in about 10 minutes, you can do that. He says 5 minutes. He's laughing at our concept of time, by the way. I'm just going to put some lip balm on my lips. He's also telling me about the number 5 and how important that is for a lot of you. Some of you are seeing number 5. 5 does talk about change, sudden changes and needed changes, universal changes. Number 5 numerologically in the Gnostic text does talk about marriage of the feminine and the masculine energy. Again, it's about union and unity. So let's go back to the analogy that I presented to you, Kristalina, of the people who are on the tightrope. Many people are going to be, quote unquote, jumping ship. They're going to be falling off the rope onto the right side, because these people who fall under the category of the patriarchy, of control, of the shadow aspects of masculine, which these people embody toxic masculinity traits, as you call them. These people are all about ego and the I, self. These people are self-initiating, but not self-realized. These people will be falling out and away. Let them. He's saying, let these people. So what he's showing me is that these are people who work in governance, who are people who I just heard very controlling. These people who don't want to see love in abundance. He's saying these people do not want to see love in abundance. These people do not want to see compassion as a mother has to their child. These people do not care about love. They believe these ideals to be just ideals and whims and fancies of a fairy tale of bygone eras. These people are no longer in touch with their inner child, and therefore many of these people will be ending their lives, literally, but also will be jumping ship in the sense that these people will not be held accountable for the atrocious crimes that they have been committing over the centuries, over the years, for avarice, for greed, for financial comfort, which is a false comfort. And as you know, you cannot take this into the afterlife. You will continue to repeat the cycle over and over again in many, many other reincarnations until you understand the lesson. Okay, so that was a very strong analogy he was showing me. He was literally showing me a rope. There was an individual here on the tightrope, and it was obviously very unstable. And I saw 3 or 4 individuals that were falling into the depth of water. There was a splash of water, and they were falling on my right side, which is the masculine side of action. I also want to point out, I did speak about Mars in the astrology introduction, and Mars is the planet of war. It can be used for drive and determination, of course, but don't ignore the fact that many of these kings on the chessboard, he is saying, orchestrate He's speaking to me in French. Now, I don't know whether he's also bringing in Nostradamus. He's saying la guerre et la gueule. So guerre meaning war, and gueule is like avarice, from what I understand, from what I remember from French. Okay, so it's gall, you know, it's a very low aspect of humanity which lacks humanity. Let's have a look at these cards. Okay, so this card here is on the Empress and on the Emperor. Okay, so the Empress and the Emperor are consorts and are together. Now, I do see them as royal families. I also see them as a true love match, okay? Nine of Swords. So he is saying that Adam and Eve have not been together for many, 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 many eons, he is saying. The Nine of Swords, as you know, is about anxiety. Commander Ashtar, what is it that you like to say about this card? And what you are saying is true. He says, expect a repetition of Versailles and expect a repetition of Bastille Day. Of Bastille, okay? Expect a repetition of Versailles and expect a repetition of Bastille Day. Now, French is coming in quite strongly. There was a time when the French language was used as a language of diplomacy. As we know, diplomacy and democracy, I'm just speaking, I'm not channeling, have been thrown out the window, really. They're kind of irrelevant. So I'd like to know more about this. It's interesting how this card is also right next to, its edge is right next to the high priestess. Okay, he's got some opinions about LGBTQ plus community. By the way, I'm not sure if I'm going to be mentioning them on the. He says you can if you like, and if you can, you don't have to. Oh, okay. So what he's saying, he's also telling me, this is incredible. This Matt is incredible, because he is saying to me that there are people on the council who are actually these energies here, these people. He also showed me earlier, do you remember Star Wars? And there was a council and a committee a bit like this. So he's saying that I already know this intuitively, but there are people on this council who are from an individual planet. Let's say they come from a particular star system, planet. Each one is very different looking. Okay, so we have the moon here. So we have the moon people, because this is going to be really out there. So, you know, take it with a pinch of salt, or just go deeper with me, okay? Because I like to go very deep into this. So we have the moon here, we have the moon people, we have the Venusians, Venus, we have the Martians, Mars. Here we have the master teacher, which is the Hierophant, by the way. Taurus would be Chiron, or Venus as well. Yes, there is a wounding. So they are talking about the wounding of this planet, and he's saying that they've been in the council of the Galactic Federation. They have been talking about our planet. They talk about other planets in our solar system, by the way, and in our universe. But he is specifically saying that there are individuals in this planet planet Earth, these individuals are talking about planet Earth as a lot of us have lost our intuitive abilities and our intuitive ways. We've been doubting our empathy, and we've actually just not been using it at all, if anything. And he finds that quite concerning, he says. This is why he's saying a lot of us are falling prey to low vibrational attachments, particularly during our sleep. So what's the next card, please? This card is falling on the Lovers and the Chariot, which we have here. The Chariot here, Archangel Metatron. So we have beings from Mercury here with the Lovers, Gemini energy, and we have beings here from Cancer being the Moon. But to be honest with you, I feel like this is from another solar system, another star system, because this is the energy of the Merkaba. So this is actually from a completely different star system. I also heard Andromeda around here, around this area, okay? Andromeda star system, but also Andromeda as a planet, which is also like a mega spaceship, which is essentially a country, you know. Okay, that I won't get into why that is, but we have the Seven of Cups here. Okay, we have the Seven of Cups. So he is talking about these people here from Mercury, planet Mercury, and I heard Andromeda's coming in very strongly here. Is this Andromeda? He says it doesn't matter so much. He says otherwise you will confuse your viewers. But he is saying that these people in the council have been speaking about our choices, the choices that we make in our daily lives. He says there are some individuals on planet Earth who choose I was going to say wisely, but then he stopped me from saying that. Okay. He is saying, he's talking about smokes and mirrors here, and he's talking about language. So Mercury being the planet of technology and language, the Chariot indicating Archangel Metatron's energy in space and time, and the energy of smokes and mirrors here, and the, let's say, evolution of artificial intelligence. He's going there. He's talking about, in some ways, there is no need for language. Many other planets have already evolved and developed outside of the written language, outside of the written law, he is saying, outside of the matrix of words through the mouth. It's about the energy of the individual, okay, that can be decoded. So he's talking about language that we're using that is not always necessary, but in our particular evolution, we do continue to use language, and how we're misusing the language that we are using, no matter which language you do speak. So he's basically talking about double speak, which was already prophesied in George Orwell's book. He says the great George Orwell. He knew a lot, and he maybe knew too much, he's saying. And he's leaving it at that for me to share. But he's saying that there are smokes and mirrors with language. He's saying wordology and technology. So the development of artificial intelligence. We're also being observed. Basically, this is a council of observation, okay? And I saw 44, there's 44 on the timer here, which is Archangel energy. But we are being observed in how we are misusing our vehicle, okay? we should already be on the evolution of the space-time continuum. I don't know, he's using a lot of technical words. Analysis, energy, I don't know. But basically, we should already be in an evolution of entering and exiting portals and dimensions. We should have a technology of that on a greater scale. There is that behind the scenes on our planet Earth, but it is not used for the common people or for the common good. And these people who are observing our planet are observing the fact that we are smokescreened about these technologies, and we are being controlled by the words that we are allowed to speak and not allowed to speak. Now, the Lovers card here in the tarot, the Major Arcana, does talk about coming together. So he's saying that these individuals who sat here in the committee, he's saying, are aware of people like yourself, as in me, who have a strong connection to them and who understand the multi-layers of dimensions, the heavenly spheres, and doing channeling like you're doing now, like I'm doing now, which is a telephone wire, invisible to the ears or eyes, but is still a connector beyond space and time. These individuals, like you, will be able to continue to be in the 4th, 5th, 6th dimension. He's also saying that these individuals who are on the committee, or who represent each planet, by the way, because they're representatives, it's like the UN, but cooler, are in deep observation of what is happening and what will come. Because he is saying that these individuals who are psychics, who have inner knowing, and who are open with how to use the great vessel of our body, the temple, and our mind as the vehicle to supersede certain so-called limiting barriers, are able to transverse and transpire through time and space. These people will actually be ascending into the next dimension, he's saying, and will be able to do that in their sleep, will be able to do it with their eyes closed. A lot of you already have the map, he is saying, on your hand with how to get to these particular places. You already have the map in your hand, maybe even literally. So some of you are going to be studying palmistry. Some of you are also going to be learning how to use the map on your hand about where to get to particular planets, he's saying, because each finger also symbolizes particular planets and elements, he is saying. He says, in another way, you know this, you will know how to do this teleportation, he is saying, as if it were at the back of your hand. You will know it as well as the back of your hand, he is saying. But while we're on that note, he is saying, how many times, or how recently, or how often have you actually looked at the back of your hand, he is saying. This is another meditation to stay present, he is saying. Okay, let's move on. So here we have the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups is lying on the Strength card and is also lying on the Hermit and bordering its edge on the Wheel of Fortune. Now, as you can see so far, these are minor arcanas, okay? This is telling me that there is a lack of evolution in our humanity, which the council so far on this, let's say, great rotund, he is saying, the conversation has been about, there's been a lack of our evolution as human beings. These are minor arcanas, so there's no big change, you know. Again, they're not here to judge, but they're here to heavily observe. And he says, intervene if we must, he's saying. And he's saying that in a way where he will give the go-ahead of intervention if we fall into a major trap. He's saying he's going to leave it like that. So you have the Four of Cups of boredom over strength, strength card, Leo, Virgo energy here with the Hermit, and the Wheel of Fortune for me would be, I don't know, I guess all signs, but for me it would be Sagittarius because it's about luck and expansion, but it can be all signs. It's also the great mysteries of the world, which is the Torah, okay? So a Kabbalistic wheel of life. So again, this is about a lack of evolution. So there are Lyrans who some of you have connected to from planet Lyra, or just there are many different civilizations from many different planets, okay, who look like lions and tigers. It's not necessarily just from one planet, by the way. We also have to remind ourselves that it is simple out there, but it's also full of diversity in space. Okay, so we have, I'm calling them Lyrans, but we have people who are the felines who have come from other planets, who are kind of actually pre-warning a little bit. Now, this is interesting because I wasn't expecting this, but the felines, there have been some civilizations from the feline group of peoples who have not been able to go back home because their home was destroyed. And this is something that they are observing over us, how and they are in agreement with these sages who sit next to them, because the hermit is a sage. I feel like the sages are one of those civilizations that are like millions and millions and millions of years old, who carry a lot of knowledge about the true origins of our planet, by the way, and many other planets and many other solar systems. He's saying that these are kind of like the Leonardo da Vinci in a big scale. So they're really sage individuals, they're sage peoples. The felines are in agreement with the sages of ages, he is saying, where we become, as on planet Earth, we become bored very easily and quickly, and we actually get to use our creative. We have so much depth and so much capacity and so much potential, and we just refuse to see it, and we refuse to use it on planet Earth. Now again, there is help here with the hand of God, or even the hand of one of these sentient beings from the Galactic Federation Council, who is trying to help us see the magic in us and in all things. And this is about seeing the world like a child sees the world, you know. So seeing the world like with the eyes of a child, he is saying. Rather than being bored or feeling bored, ask yourself deep questions like, why is it that I feel bored? There's also dissatisfaction here as well as ingratitude. So the felines are saying, be grateful that you have a home, because many don't have one. This is on a microcosmic scale, is in planet Earth, but on the macrocosmic, spatial, multi-planetary scale in our universe and many other universes, there are beings that don't have a planet anymore because of corruption, because of greed, because of wars. So we must go deeper into our spiritual enlightenment. We must go deeper into feelings of gratitude that we have a home in the first place, that planet Earth is our home, and to be sweet to her and to be loving to her. Now, I know a lot of you do here on Abstract Medicine, but this is a message that you can be sharing to your clients. This is a message that you can be sharing to the world out there. That the seed that we plant here on our planet has a ripple effect on other planets, by the way, he is saying. What we think and what we do and what we create has a deep effect on all of the planets that these individuals represent on the council. So he's saying that we must stop ourselves from feeling like this is a singular event that doesn't affect others. This is a multitudinal event, he is saying. Whatever that event may be, it could be as like a simple event like washing the dishes to a major event. So he's saying that our planet is beautiful, and we have seen it evolve from the beginnings of time. And we see you helping some of you, and some of you see you there's a sadness here. And it's interesting because when I've channeled Commander Ashtar's energy before, I've not experienced his sadness. But he is saying that we see you. But he's saying we refuse, sometimes it's difficult to see others who are causing, he's saying in your words, blasphemy. Not my words, but the words that we use on planet Earth to indicate the horrors of what is going on or what has been going on. And that's what he's saying. And it's interesting because before I've connected to Commander Ashtar and it's been him, and now there's all these other energies here, and he's basically what he's doing, he's decoding all of the messages from each individual on this council that he's then relaying to me. So there's a lot of energy that's being changed during this channeling and during this session. And in order for me to connect to him, I have to change my molecular energy, let's say, to go into a higher frequency in order to connect with him. And I'm hoping that he doesn't have to lower his frequency in order to connect to me, because I'm on planet Earth and this planet's kind of low vibrational, but there's a lot of energy here and it can be quite exhausting for many beings who do connect, okay? So let's continue. He says that this has happened over and over again here with the Wheel of Fortune. It's quite interesting because he said, we ourselves are bored of seeing the cycle of behavior. Like he's bringing in a bit of psychology here, like the toxic cycle of behavior in a family dynamic on your planet Earth. A lot of you go to therapists, a lot of you go to psychologists, and you talk about the toxic habits of behavior, the toxic or continuous cycles of behavior in your home, in your ancestry. But we ourselves are bored of seeing these toxic cycles of behavior continuing over and over and over again through many, many, many evolutions. Even though that we know that your sense of time and our sense of time is very different. Our sense of time is like a blink of an eye, and that could be, for you, 1,000 years, for example. But I'm getting a sense, I'm getting a sense from Commander Ashtar a little bit, and I haven't had this before, I haven't felt this before, I'm getting a sense of, let's say, although he's not human, a sense of humanity within him, which is a sense of frustration, a little bit. We should be on our evolution already by now, he says. We should have become wiser already, he's saying. And this is what the other individuals are also saying on the council. We have the Nine of Pentacles. Of all the planets that you wished to incarnate on, you chose planet Earth. And it's very interesting that the Nine of Pentacles is on the Wheel of Fortune, the Justice card, and the Hanged Man. Okay, so he's saying that a lot of you already know that we've made soul contracts, okay, to come into this planet Earth and reincarnate many, many times over. For some of us, 9 times here, the Nine of Pentacles. We've been reincarnated 9 times or more so on planet Earth, but number 9 also is about endings of karma, or endings due to now the lesson has been learnt. And on this side of the council, we have the Wheel of Fortune again on its border with the Four of Cups, talking about evolution and fate and destiny. We have this really interesting element of Libra coming through, talking about justice. Now, this would not be a planet in my eyes. This comes across to me as an individual on the council, much like the Hierophant is also an individual on this council. I do not believe that they represent actual planets on the council. These people are actual people who are there for a reason. There's something about their placements on the council that is really important symbolically. Okay. Now, everyone has their right place at the table, he is saying. Now, this would be the individual that represents karma, okay, symbolically, but also in truth. Just like there is an individual that represents time, you know, I'm sure there is. We have the World card here poking through. But yeah, we have something about the divine order here, he's saying. That's why this individual is here. Very neutral, and very effective. And this individual has symbolized jurisprudence for eons. He is also saying that this individual here that represents justice was really how our planet Earth was created at the beginning. So planet Earth has its own rules, and each planet is ruled by its babies, he is saying. Okay, so there is a divine order and a law and laws within the great law on each planet. Okay, so the Hanged Man here would signify Pisces, justice would signify Libra. Now, with this card, with this major arcana here, usually the wheel swings, in our knowledge, the wheel swings from right and up, right to left, well, right down to left. But where they are based, it doesn't work like that. So there's also a cosmic awareness of this wheel that changes a bit like the dials of a compass according to the energy and frequency of where the planet in question is evolving or where it is energetically. So he's bringing me back to the analogy of the tightrope, and he's saying that this Wheel of Fortune is sort of, I just heard dondolando in Italian, which is like swinging. It's swinging. Okay, it's swinging. Because there is something that needs to be closed out here, and we're not quite understanding that. With the Hanged Man, I feel like there's an energy of holding back from intervention right now on our planet. We're talking about planet Earth right now. We're not talking about any other planets. For me, this would be possibly either the Jupiter or the Sun, or maybe the Sun is here. One of the planets have not been able to pass the test and has fallen into this basket, let's say. So he's saying we are next on the test. Let me show you the card. Planet Earth is next on the test. Will we fall into the basket, like here, or will we find the wisdom and learn to break the cycle? Here with the owl. It's not an owl, but I read it as an owl. It's actually a dove. And interesting, we have peace here. So many of us are wanting peace, of course. On planet Earth, we have chosen to not truly choose peace. Choose peace of mind. But again, there's a lack of enlightenment for many on this planet. Again, it's not enough for one individual to experience enlightenment. We all must experience enlightenment on this planet in order to evolve out. And if there is a continued cycle of either suppression or control and de-evolution from learning or understanding into true knowledge and true wisdom, then we will have the opposite of peace. We could have conflict. Okay. And we're stuck back in nursery, where we're learning how to start from the very beginning again. Okay, so let's have a look at these cards here. So we have Hanged Man, we have Death card, and we have Temperance. The card that we have is the Two of Cups. True love. Another minor arcana though. I also want to point out that in this card here, the Nine of Pentacles, a lot of us are choosing to use our physical vessel and combining with our spiritual understanding of real truth in order to, again, ascend into the 4D, maybe before others do. Okay, that's what I'm hearing. So many of us are going to be experiencing fourth, fifth dimensional, a new earth paradigm, essentially, where others may not. So that's another message that's being reiterated. So the Death card is inevitable endings, the energy of Pluto, which is Scorpio energy. The energy of eclipses spiritual enlightenment here with the Hanged Man. And we have the Temperance card here with Archangel Gabriel. So we do have the energy of Pluto here at a distance. It's a small planet. But we also have the law of endings, yeah, and transformation and rebirth. So like many of you will be ending connections that are not true. Many of you are going to be coming into connections that are true. And I'm hearing an applause from the whole council going, yay. They're so happy about this. They are so happy about this. They're so happy about this coming together of beautiful creatures, he is saying. It's time. He's saying it's time for many of you to come together. Many of you are going to be getting engaged soon. Many of you are going to be getting engaged and connected and committing to your true opposites. And he loves this whole concept that we have, by the way. They love, I mean, he in particular just, it's so weird for him to understand that we live in separation, you know, ideas. It's so strange for him. But in any case, many of you are going to be coming together just like the analogy of the apple sliced in half, the atom sliced in half, coming together because you feel the resonance. And resonance is true. The resonance of your soul's calling to come together. And it's 111 at the time of me saying that. So the energy of the portal opening is happening now as I speak. So there is a coming together here. It's going to be a beautiful connection and a beautiful compromise, he is saying, that many of you have not experienced before. True paradise on earth, the energy of the beginning of time. It's also Jupiter energy too, in a way, again. It's about unions. Sagittarius energy, which is ruled by Jupiter, is about glass half full, not empty, coming together. It's about unity, not division. And many of you are going to be ending certain paradigms and ideas of, I am this and you are that. I am this religion, you are that religion. I am this colour, you are that colour. It's 12:12 on the clock now. There's going to be a definitive ending of this thought, this mentality, this false programming that's been implemented. A lot of you are going to be waking up to this, that it has been a programming that has been implemented in our brains, in our minds, our bodies, to think divisively. Let's have a look at... Before I move on, I will say that he's talking about health here. These are healthy relationships and true partnerships. Commander Ashtar, what is it that you'd like to say about Pluto energy? Yeah. He's saying that a lot of you who have had experience with very difficult relationships, platonically or romantically, where there has been a lot of trauma, there is an end of that. And a move into healthy relationships in all shapes and sizes, at work, in love. They're true people that really see who you really are on a soul level. These people see, they connect in the initial language that we speak, he is saying, which is energy to energy, not language to language. Okay, let's have a look at this card here that's falling over the Devil card, the Tower card, and a little bit of the Star card. Five of Pentacles. I just heard lost at sea. Okay, so you have the devil here, which is Saturn energy. The Tower card, which is Pluto energy, and even Mars energy. Okay. Okay. He is saying the way to enlightenment is not this. It is not through the Tower of Babel. He is also saying that many on our planet are obsessed with buying product and buying things for self-gratification and self-inclusion in society. Many of us, he is saying, have the key. He is saying about us, planet Earth people, terrestrials, that we have the key to leave these false narratives, again, of separation, of feeling unworthy or feeling like we may not fit in necessarily if we don't wear the right clothes, if we don't hang out in the right schools, if we don't frequent the right people. It's all irrelevant. He's pointing at the key here in this card. And the key, he is telling me, is the key of knowledge. And a lot of us have refused to use this key of knowledge in order to find out more about the mysteries of the universe, or even to do self-reflection. Now, with the Devil card and the what I spoke about earlier, Saturn is a harsh ruler. However, Saturn also has its place in our solar system. It just does. And Commander Ashtar, what is it you're saying? He's saying to not be afraid to release false paradigms of false lies, which are false truths, which are lies, he is saying. Do not be afraid to release false paradigms, which are false truths, which are, in essence, lies and deception. You are so much bigger and greater than the little box that you live in, the clothes that you wear, the people that you frequent. There is a whole mystery out there that you were all connected to, he is saying. And some of you are choosing not to see the interconnectedness and the magic that you hold within, that is also connected to the universe and the multi-universe out there. A lot of you are not seeing your true potential. A lot of you are downright refusing to see your true potential. A lot of you on this side of the fence, he is saying, are going to be getting a rude awakening. This rude awakening will impact you greatly. Physically, you will be safe. Mentally, you'll be safe. But this rude awakening will impact you greatly. A lot of you will be waking up to the fact that for most of your life, you have been in governance to other people. You've been under the control of other people. And you will be wanting to change your life radically once this rude awakening does take place. For many of you, you'll be losing your jobs, but your home will be safe. For many of you, you'll be leaving difficult partnerships, but your body and your home will be safe. Let these false paradigms that are not a true reflection of who you really are go. Be gone, and for good, he is saying to those people, those situations. This rude awakening for many of you is going to be a spiritual one, a very transformative one. He's saying to leave it like that. He's saying, okay. All right, let's have a look at this one here. He just wants to end and saying that many of the people who will be getting this rude awakening have been feeding the wrong beast. That's what he's saying. All right, let's have a look. We have the Star card, the Moon card, and it's half of its border is on the Sun here. And it's the Queen of Swords. Gemini, Aquarius, possibly for some, Libra energy. For many of you who are leaving these toxic relationships and toxic relations, he is saying, and getting a rude awakening, once it is done, it will be done, and you will feel clearer and more healed than before. The air will be fresher and less stagnant than it was before. Many of you will be getting and gaining clarity of your mind. For those of you, maybe for the first time. For many of you, you love the film The Matrix. And there is a point in the film, he's saying, where Neo says his eyes hurt. And Morpheus says, it's because you've never used them before. So this is the road for many of you as initiates into really, truly who you are going to be and how you're going to be affecting your planet and your world and your worlds in the full experience of time and space. So not just on this incarnation and this planet Earth, but in other incarnations or even other experiences on other planets to come. So many of you are very connected to the stars. Many of you have a very clear vision of the stars, you know, physically with your eyes, but also you believe in the stars. You believe in the Galactic Federation. You believe in the good of this council, he is saying. And a lot of you are unafraid. A lot of you are going to be looking up at the stars and the stars are going to be waving back at you, he is saying. Now, the star card would be Aquarius ruled by Uranus. And the moon card here is the moon. So Cancer energy here, Leo energy poking out a tiny bit with the sun. And we have Uranus. A lot of you who are, he is saying that people from this particular celestial entity and this one are very feminine in nature, energetically. I'm feeling their energy, these people in the council. They work with women, okay? And we have a woman here, the Queen of Swords. Typically this would make sense as Aquarius energy is coming in strong. So I feel like for some of you, Your intellectual abilities will be expanding a great deal. You'll be receiving a lot of information about things that haven't been necessarily written in books, or if they have been written in books, they may have been confiscated or removed or burnt or destroyed, he is saying, on your planet. But for those of you who have a connection with the stars or carry the energy of Aquarius, you are bringing in this new age. And so therefore it would make logical sense for you to be receiving information through the intellect capacities in order to experience and read on your own accord hidden knowledge, or knowledge that needs to be implemented so that you may share them to the right people when the time comes. Beautiful channeling. Let's have a look at this card here. Wow, we have the Ace of Cups. So you see, so far these are all minor arcanas. Okay, so let's say that let's close out almost with the Ace of Cups, true love, you know, and this is where the joy is. We have the Sun card here talking about joy, and we have the Judgment card here with Archangel Michael. So Archangel Michael comes in a state of where there is conflict, where there is potential for conflict, and he comes in order to bring about a new fresh energy, a new day. It's the energy of removing the dragon in terms of its low aspect. It's the energy of removing low vibrational energies. So true joy, the sun is true joy, comes in through true love. And can you see how you have the stars in the background here? Beautiful card. And the heart and love comes from within. Beautiful. So indeed, there will be a new beginning and a new cycle taking place for many of us who will be experiencing the new paradigm coming through, which is the new age. And that is true as long as you believe that to be true, he is saying. And as long as you hold that in your heart, he is saying. So the sun card is the sun. So there is hope here. There is hope here. And I feel like here, I'm asking him at the same time as I'm channeling whether there are people who live on the sun. He says yes and no. There are children of God, as in Ra energy. There are children of the sun who bring in the light. And so many of you are children of God, children of the sun. Your God is the sun. You worship the sun. He's laughing. Bringing in a new day, bringing in health, truth, and light into the darkness for some. The darkness being the moon, okay? The shadows, illusion. So I would say that he is saying that there is a divine order and orchestration in what is going on right now. But justice will prevail the day, and there will be a new day, he is saying. Plants will grow again. People will be birthed again. Babies will be born. Love will abound. He is showing me the energy of Noah's Ark after the flood. And he's showing me all the animals that are coming out of the ark onto the new island that is dry. And he is showing me all the new foods that will be made, all of the new medicines that will be created, all of the new orders that will be created, all of the new rules that will be made. And he's showing me that, to be honest with you. That's what he's showing me. he's also telling me that the book that I read and then I ended up listening to as an audio book, The Day of the Triffids, is quite true. There have been some people in that book, The Day of the Triffids, that couldn't see after a cosmic explosion. I won't give it away completely, but it's a great read, by the way, and I would highly recommend it. But they had to start all over again. They had to start fresh. So there is a new dawn coming in, and it's coming in quite quickly, he is saying. So let's all just get prepared for that, because it's going to be happening soon. And I think there's no need to panic, he's saying, but those who are going to be coming together in union, in partnership, are going to be coming together in order to bring in the new earth. Okay? There is Archangel Michael and Metatron coming in very, very strongly here. And the energy of the mysteries of this planet that we aren't necessarily meant to be knowing about, not all of the mysteries of our planet or the universe, but they are very close, these archangels, these messengers. They're very, very close to us. And they know that we are scared, and they know that we are worried, and they know that we are doing our best to hold the light, but they're also close by. Okay, they are ready and prepared, he's saying. Let's have a look at this card here, which is bordering on the Judgment card and the World card, okay? All right, and a little bit of the Fool card. We have our first major arcana talking about our planet and its justice. As I said, there is a divine orchestration that is taking place that we may never understand. But this universe does, and this community does, okay? This council understands. And what is happening right now is a great flip. It's a great flip of our darkness into the light on planet Earth. So, as I said, we have justice here, and it's pretty much opposite justice here. That's judgment here. Judgment, justice. So we're entering a new paradigm here. We are going to be reborn again, essentially. Reinvented, reset, okay? We have the world here, which is planet Earth, and this card is landing on this card. Some will be falling by the wayside. One moment. Into the darkness and into the abyss, and some will be holding the truth of justice, truly committed. My door's, someone's at my door. I'm channeling right now. Let me see if I should answer. One moment. Actually, I've chosen not to, because I really want to continue channeling for all of you. So the last thing I'll say is that there is a complete U-haul, I'm hearing, in what will be taking place on our planet, which is a great reset and a revamp. And this has been done before in our evolution. Now, there is major universal karma that is going to be taking place soon, and this is needed, okay? And there is a natural law that's taking place here that we can't understand why it's taking place, but it's going to be happening. And it's about karma. Okay, let's have a look at this card here. We have the High Priestess, which is another major arcana, beautiful card. So this major arcana is landing on the Fool and the Magician, interesting, and also a little bit on the High Priestess herself. So again, a lot of you already are receiving the download spiritually that you're needing to receive about this great reset, this great change that's taking place, this planetary evolution that's taking place right now, that you know that everything is happening for a reason. And what this card is telling me is that a lot of you already know, and a lot of you are going to be starting anew with the Fool card, Aries energy, the full new fresh energy with the world, new age, a new paradigm here. You're already integrating, and you are already magnetizing these energies here with the Mercury energy here of the Magician. That's what I'm seeing. So I'm seeing a great spiritual connection for many of you, and alchemy that's taking place. So I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to see who knocked at my door. I'm going to send you so much love and light your way. And I do hope you've enjoyed these messages from Commander Ashtar. I'm going to close out the circle and say thank you to all of the council here that have come in through Commander Ashtar today to deliver the messages that we need to hear today. There will be more, he is saying. And I will be open to it. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you, Commander Ashtar and the Council of the Galactic Federation. Thank you for bringing in the light, the truth and unity, consciousness and knowledge into this matter, helping us to relieve and release our fears and concerns and worries, knowing that everything is happening for the right reason at the right time. Thank you so much. In the light, truth and love. Amen. And so it is. If you like a private reading or a shamanic healing session, you know where to find me. All the information is down below. Definitely check out Abstract Medicine on Instagram for tarot readings, and also follow my art practice there. You may also wish to listen to Hype A on Instagram. We post there every day. Hype A Voices, that's on Instagram, Hype A Voices, or listen to Hype A on Spotify or wherever you get your favorite podcasts, all about amplifying voices in the arts in general. If you like this video, please do press the like button, subscribe to the channel to be notified for new videos. Thank you so much. God bless. Take care. Ciao.